effort to save Detroit. So what happens now? Joining us now is California Congressman Duncan Hunter, who voted for the bailout bill. Arizona Congressman Trent Franks voted against it. Guys, welcome back to the program. Trent, I resent this. First of all, 10 Republicans in the U.S. Senate did vote for the bill. The only reason this didn't pass, and the White House supported it, this is the same UAW that said just a couple of weeks ago they would do nothing to help the auto companies. So this is a political payback, again, the unholy alliance with Democrats and the unions in play here to blame Republicans, right?
Well, I think that's part of it. And I think for them to call it un-American is really beyond the pale, because if there's anything that is intrinsically American, it is the free market and the free principles of the market that gave us the greatest and most productive economy in the history of humankind.
And by the way, Trent, I agree with the support of you and Congressman Gohmert and Texas. This $350 billion that's left in the bank bailout to use it for a 2-month tax holiday for everybody. All right, but Duncan, let me go to you. You supported the bill.
Sure.
This is just a small loan, comparatively speaking. I'm worried about the ripple effect. Not only are we going to lose auto worker jobs, we're going to lose a whole bunch of jobs here. And I really believe, Duncan, that government caused a lot of these problems for Detroit. So I'm more sympathetic to the auto companies and saving these jobs and giving a loan versus a bailout than I am the billions and $700 billion bailouts. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, I voted against the big bailout for the banks. Listen, I have enormous respect for Trent Franks. And incidentally, Trent, congratulations on those 2 brand new babies that God has given you and Josie this Christmas season. But, you know, I looked at this from a national security perspective. In World War II, Ford Motor Company made a bomber aircraft every 60 minutes at Willow Run, Michigan. Chrysler made thousands of tanks. General Motors made a ton of our engines in every single warfighting system. That's a massive part of our military industrial base. And a big piece of that, incidentally, is now gone overseas. So this is a bridge loan. I think we need to get through this season, and we need to have a chance to look at it.
Congressman Hunter, it's Hannity and Colmes. I'm actually agreeing with you, Congressman Hunter. I'm glad we're on the same side on this. But Congressman Franks, I'm upset about the suggestion that somehow the unions are at fault. We're talking about saving workers. We're talking about unions that have made a number of concessions. What's really part of the American culture and intrinsic American values? The right to organize and unionize, and the right of these unions to protect themselves. That's intrinsically American, isn't it?
Well, you know, I'm from a right-to-work state, and I believe that employers and employees should be able to work these things among themselves, and it's fine to have collective bargaining as long as it doesn't become blackmail. And ironically, the reason the Senate bill didn't pass last night was because the unions failed to compromise on the bill that was being put forward.
Because you wanted a date for them to make concessions right away, and they were willing to make them in 2011, but you wanted them like immediately, and you couldn't come up with a compromise on that.
Well, I may believe that the unions are part of the problem, and I do, but I also believe that government caused a lot of this in requiring the automakers to make certain types of cars and put CAFE standards and a lot of things on them. They had to make cars that no one would buy. So
the government ought to jump in and save them.
Ronald Reagan was really right. Ronald Reagan was right. Government is not the solution to our problems. Government is the problem most of the time.
Well, then doesn't the government have a responsibility now to jump in and help save them, and at least give them a bridge loan, as Congressman Hunter says, and get them through this rough period?
Well, you know, I truly believe that Duncan Hunter voted for this for all the right reasons, and I believe that most of the points that he's made here are absolutely valid tonight. My concern is that with the president that we have coming up in January, who likes to spread the wealth, we could head down a road of socialism.
Well,
that those 2 babies he mentioned
did it for Wall Street.
We don't want to do it for Main Street.
Guys, we thank you very much for being with us. Coming up, will a link between the remains thought to be Kaylee Anthony and evidence found at the home of Mother Casey prove enough for a conviction? Our legal panel will weigh in.